And earlier, we saw a throw that went over his head. This one, watch Davis. He actually has to go into glide. Now, of course, the defensive back catches up, but you're just not going to hit that throw perfect in stride every time. So if you're going to throw it, underthrow it slightly, let your receiver adjust to it. If the defensive back gets there too soon, at least you get a defensive pass interference out of the deal.
Most of us were introduced to that young man right there on your screen in the national championship game a couple of years ago. Coming in for Colt McCoy, was hurt early in that game. 2nd and 5 on the reverse. This is Shipley. Tries to get to the edge and lunges for that first down. Coming up just a little bit short of that line. Seen a lot of formations, and Chuck Dreisbach, the defensive coordinator for Rice, said we feel like we're going to be playing against Boise tonight. Right now it's burnt orange on the menu. They trail by 11 with 3 quarters in the books. Mack Brown talked about putting his team back together brick by brick. Right now they lead by 11 points. There's a look at the numbers, and talked about the mortar being the chemistry and the ambition to keep the team bonded and together. He enjoyed doing that shoot so much that he decided to keep the props, the bricks, and put it inside the locker room, and afterwards use it to write the potential scores of the games, hopefully winning scores. 3rd down and 1 now. Gilbert keeps it himself. Well, it's going to be close. Didn't seem to get much of a surge. As we unveil the 4th quarter here on the season opener for Texas. They won 39 of the last 40 against Rice. And they're going to say it's a 1st down. Mack Brown talked about the fact that there was a lot of turnover, and he's really enjoyed. He seems like he's delegated a lot more this year, enjoying it and paying less attention to how much scrutiny he's undergoing in the media.
He just seems, you know what, he said something interesting the other day, the whole brick by brick. He said, you know, I'm not even focused on wins and losses, and probably for the first time in my career, just on how we can get better every day.
Here's Whitaker. And Whitaker gets about 3. It'll be 2nd down and 7 to go. Texas in tough this year in the Big 12 conference. When you look at Oklahoma State, Texas A&M.
Wait, A&M is
Oklahoma.
Oh yeah, A&M is still in the Big 12. Okay, well, hasn't changed.
Haven't checked SportsCenter in a while. Recently, the Aggies submitting a letter that they'd be leaving the conference. 2nd down and 8 coming up. Malcolm Brown in the ball game and tailback. On the fly sweep. This is Brown. This is Monroe, actually. DJ Monroe spinning like a DJ on those turntables, the 1s and 2s. He got a 1st down.
Well, I think if you are an upcoming opponent, and here goes Texas fast. I like this. Hustling up to the line of scrimmage, trying to take advantage of that play. Nice call by Harsin to get this going.
17-yard gain. Going quick, and they hand it off. Bergeron in the ball game gets that one over the right side, gets about 3. It'll be 2nd down and 7.
2nd and 7 is just a very tough down, and out comes. They're going to go with the. Actually, David Ash is coming in. Well, if I'm Rice, I'm not sure why a true freshman would come in at quarterback when you're moving the ball on this 7-yard line. But you've just got to assume, well, they're going to go to a wildcat. That's what they're doing. Little deception here.
Whitaker taking a direct snap here. Fakes the handoff and keeps it himself. Fozzie Whitaker. Touchdown, Texas.
Boy, he's excited, isn't he?
He's happy. He just hasn't told his face yet.
Yeah. He's an intense guy, and what a great decoy where they bring the freshman out. So now on the defense, you're thinking, wait a minute, they're changing quarterbacks. But Ash actually went out and got a decent block for Whitaker so that he got the corner.
A fantastic way to start the 4th quarter of play for the Longhorns, increasing their lead to 27-9. And the diversified playbook of Bryan Harsin having great effect here.
Watch the speed. He saw it and he goes, and, well, I gave a little bit of credit to David Ash for a block. He actually just ran a fake route to the inside, and this guy followed him. But, again, I go back. When David Ash ran in, you heard my reaction.
Right.
Well, that's the exact reaction that Chuck Driesbach and the staff from Rice is saying, well, wait a minute, they're making a change, and all of a sudden they go to the Wildcat, they get the edge and score. And that's really the brilliance of what Bryan Harsin does. That's an outside sweep play. There's nothing fancy to that, but it's a whole different personnel group. And you bring in a quarterback that no one expects to be in inside the 7. So I'll shut my mouth next time a freshman quarterback comes in at the 7-yard line.
Well, it's a brand new look, a new era here for Mack Brown, the 14-year head coach of the Texas Longhorns.
You know, when you talk to defensive coaches, you know what you have to go through to get ready to play a team that has this many personnel groupings, this many formations, it's a nightmare.
Bryan Harsin's old team, Boise State, leading right now 28-13 at the Georgia Dome against the Bulldogs as Charles Ross takes a knee. Let's peruse the schedule that Texas has coming up. When you add it all up, what do you see here? An 8-4, a 7-5, a 9-3?
I think it all depends on the next 3 weeks. They're going to have to improve. BYU comes in here, good team, returns 9 starters on offense, 7 on defense. At UCLA, you just don't know what you're going to get, and Texas doesn't play them well. And then they get a bye before they get into league play. If they can get out of Iowa State healthy and on a roll, Oklahoma State, you know, Oklahoma defensively has lost a lot of guys. I know they're AP number 1. I'm not sure they're that good.
A burst up the middle by Peterson into the secondary and a first down out near the 36-yard line.
But you give this staff a little bit of time to start to get things settled in. Manny Diaz to get things going defensively. You get healthy, you get a bye week right before the league starts. It falls pretty well for Texas.
A handoff to Peterson again, this time not quite as much room. Stopped up by Acho, and let's go downstairs, talk about a little brotherly love right now, Samantha.
A lot of brotherly love on this sideline tonight. Jordan Shipley, of course, here to watch your younger bro. Tonight he's putting on a show for you right in front of you. First collegiate touchdown. How'd that feel?
It was awesome. He's a lot of fun to watch, and it's just a huge blessing to get to come out and watch him play. I thought he had another touchdown earlier, but he just barely stepped out of bounds, I think.
Everyone's been talking about how mature he is. Now I know he came down to Austin to work out with you during the lockout. What were you guys doing, and did he really improve over that time?
Yeah, he worked out. We worked out together a lot, and he's always just tried to pick up things, and he's a really quick learner. And so anything I tell him, he picks it up immediately. And obviously just I'm amazed every time I come back and work out with him and how much he's grown and progressed all the time.
And there's been so much speculation from Texas fans wondering if he's going to be able to fill those shoes. He's wearing the same number. Do you think he has the ability to actually be better than you?
I know he has the ability. I mean, he's miles ahead of where I was. And then obviously I missed 2 years with injuries and all that stuff. So if he can stay healthy, the sky's the limit for him, really. I think he's got a lot of pressure on him. I know people are, hitting him with all kinds of comparisons and stuff like that, and that's tough as somebody that hasn't even, it's his first college game. But I think he'll be able to live up to it.
Well, that is a very good sign for Texas fans. Jordan, thanks for your time. Go enjoy the rest of this one.
All right, thank you.
Mark?
All right, Samantha. Momentum squarely in favor of the Burnt Orange right now. Guard hands it off. Peterson again. Out to about the 42-yard line. Well, you heard Jordan Shipley talking about his younger brother Jackson. And it kind of underscores the fact that regardless of a 5-7 season, to me, Texas still gets great players.
They do. I mean, they're very young at the receiver spot. But Jackson Shipley, I think, can start to be a little bit of a leader in there because of all of the things he's taking from his brother and what to do on routes and make adjustments. Boy, they found themselves a nice one. Now 2 in a row from the Shipley family.
Third down and 3 coming up. Agarg, a little bit of contact there. Intended for Kitchens, one of those tall wide receivers at 6'3", but unable to come up with it. And it sets up a 4th down and 3 for Rice. Shipley starting as a freshman. You know, Jordan Shipley actually would have started as a freshman, but he was injured. Ended up getting the extra year.
Well, and Mack Brown, as Jackson goes out to receive the punt. Jordan was talking about the comparisons and the pressure. He said, you know, his brother caught 100 balls and was an All-American as a senior. I think we should wait a little while before we make the comparisons.
4th and 3. Martins with the punt. Shipley slips and falls back at the 6-yard line. That knee got tied up underneath him a little bit. A nice 52-yard punt. Nothing on the return. Shipley comes up limping just a touch. Back with more right after this. You know, sometimes, folks, owls do give a hoot. The Frost Bank Tower in Austin was the first high-rise building constructed in the United States after 9/11. Now, if you look closely, those two circles kind of look like an eye, a set of eyes. And the middle, an owl. It was designed by a Rice alum.
You know what?
I see a lot of things at night.
We were talking about a production meeting the other day, and because I love that building. I think it's one of the coolest buildings architecturally in the country, quite frankly. But when you look at it from that angle, it does look like an owl, actually.
Rumor has it it was designed by someone from Rice. Malcolm Brown on the carry. Approaching 11 minutes to go in the 4th quarter, and this is the 93rd chapter of Rice against Texas. Texas has won 39 of the last 40, and look at the difference in productivity. Yeah, they're moving now.
Yeah, and they got some of the trick plays in there. You know, when we were talking to Brian Harsin about the trick plays, he said one of the biggest reasons we do it is the guys like to practice it. It's fun. It brings some energy to the practice. So because we practice it, because it's fun, we get good at it, we call them.
All makes perfect sense. This is Malcolm Brown. 3rd and 2, and yeah, a lot of diversity in this offense.
Yep, so you get a handoff, reverse pass, where Shipley does a wonderful job coming back in. Then you get Fozzie Whitaker. You had the freshman quarterback run off the bench and make all of us wonder what the heck is going on. Well, he's just going to line up and play a decoy. So Whitaker goes to the Wildcat formation and uses that speed. You know, Whitaker, a guy who, God, he was so banged up last year with hamstring and a knee, and healthy all off season, and he just looks chiseled and fit.
Well, doing a great job in the classroom as well as the whistle blows down on the field. Rice calls a timeout. Fozzie Whitaker has already graduated with his degree and working on his master's right now. And right now, masters of their own destiny, apparently, as Mack Brown's team with the lead, 27-9 when we come back.
Texas football on the Longhorn Network is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. And H-E-B. For all your game day needs, no store does more than H-E-B.
Well, this was the scene at halftime at Cunningham. It went from SEC to a $sign EC.
Obviously making a statement. That's the mob, the Rice Band, making a statement about Texas A&M announcing this week that they will be leaving the Big 12, and everyone assumes it's to the SEC. The funny thing is, Rice is a bunch of smart people. They'll actually make less money, Texas A&M, next year in the SEC than they would if they stayed in the Big 12.
If it's the SEC, yeah. Malcolm Brown with a nice sprint around the left side. And now Texas getting a little bit of momentum after that 17-yard gain again.
And you know, Mark, with Texas A&M deciding to leave and then Oklahoma saying they're listening to other people, you know, Texas, to last odds, the athletic director has said they'd like to keep the Big 12 together, and I think they should. The idea of super conferences, to me, quite frankly, turns my stomach. And I think that regional conferences are better for the student athlete, and I think ultimately they're better for the bottom line.
There's Brown. Got about 1 yard on the play. Yeah, a lot of speculation about what kind of domino effect happens after Texas A&M leaves and what becomes of the Big 12, and will it survive? And
yeah,
the Big 10 undergoing changes too.
Yeah, and I think the conference, the Big 12 conference, should do everything they can to survive. I think they need to get aggressive, start looking at teams like BYU, some out-of-the-box thinking.